Hey folks, my name is Brian Weaver and I'm the VP of Services at NSA. I'm delighted today to welcome Moblico for a webinar that we have for today's session. It's our NSA Professional Services Series number 67 on transforming how you engage with your customers. Today in the webinar, what we'll be covering is why a mobile strategy is so critical now, how mobile engagement can elevate your business, how to increase sales with measurable results, and we'll have examples of folks that are doing just that. Increase productivity with data-driven automation, and the first steps to kickstart your mobile journey. So I'm your host, Brian Weaver. As I mentioned, there's my contact information. If you do have questions following today's session, I invite you to please contact me as well as Moblico, either way, for engagement. Just real quick about NSA, for those who may not know, we've been in the distribution space since 1984. We were the first reseller in this space for distribution with Infor, and our Infor ERP clients are all distributors, and they range from smaller distribution companies all the way up to um, private label and publicly traded companies as well. And I'd like to introduce our presenter today, Pierre Barbeau, who is co-founder and CEO of Moblico. Pierre, please take it away.
All right, thank you, Brian. I really appreciate the opportunity to present to your customers, and I thank you and your team for the opportunity. I am Pierre Barbeau, co-founder, CEO of Moblico, originally from Quebec City, Canada. Moved here in my early 20s, raised my family in Kansas City, where I worked for Sprint, helped lead the creation of a product called Sprint Picture Mail, was the very first camera phone picture sharing service in the United States, and formed Moblico after exiting Sprint back in 2010. We are based in Kansas City. We are an independently owned and operated company, which means we answer only to our customers. We're 100% focused on innovation and service. Very, very much a key tenet of how we approach our business. And 99% of our roadmap that is pretty much updated on a monthly basis is customer driven. So we're very attentive to our customers' needs and take the time to really dig into their individual opportunities and challenges and provide custom solutions. The company now operates out of 7 countries. Canada, US, our primary foothold. We support over 1,000 distributors. There's over 2 million professionals, whether they're technicians, electricians, plumbers, the like, on our platform. And since our inception, we've served more than 1.5 billion engagements with our platform across our different services. So in terms of crossover between us and our friends at NSA, here are a few customers that we both support, a variety of functions, and you'll be hearing from some of these folks today. As a matter of fact, during our presentation, you'll hear some video outtakes from Jessica. Jessica Stelly is with Coburn's. They're a multi-vertical HVAC, plumbing, electrical, fastener company based out of South Texas, operate over 50 locations throughout the southern U.S. You'll also hear from Peter Siebold. He's with the Master Group, or for those on the line are French-Canadian, Le Groupe Master. HVAC, headquartered out of Toronto and Montreal, operate 50 locations across Canada, and also acquiring companies in the US in the last year or two. You'll also hear from John Zimmerman, who's with MHC, a truck dealer, truck part and service provider based out of Kansas City. They operate over 100 locations across the US. You'll also hear from Coburn Flannery. Coburn is with the Granite Group. They're based out of New Hampshire, operate out of New England with over 50 locations in HV plumbing and showrooms. And last but not least, Tyler Bumpus at Robert Madden, HVAC supplier out of Austin, Texas, and they operate 16 locations out of Texas. So you'll be hearing some insight for some of these folks here as we go along today. So our goal is to, during this short webinar, to emphasize why mobile matters now. We'll share some statistics with you, some strategies you can pursue in your objectives in enabling your business to be more mobile. You'll hear, as I said before, insights from specific distributors. We'll talk about some tips to help you get started, and of course, we'll end with a Q&A as well. As Brian said, if you have questions along the way, there's a chat feature there you can take advantage of as well. So why are we here, right? Bottom line is contractors use a variety of channels to make purchases from distributors and dealers. Phone calls has been and continues to be the leading channel. But what we're also seeing, and this data comes from our friends at Farmington Consulting, that works with different associations here in the U.S., ASA and Hardy, which is the HVAC association in the United States. But in essence, what they're telling us is that not only are these channels being utilized by contractors, but they're seeing a shift, right? They're seeing growth in the web and mobile app arena, as well as digital communications through messaging. When we talk to our customers and ask them how this is impacting their business, we'll hear folks will tell us, phone calls are either stagnant or declining. Email, I would say, is kind of stable where it is, and walk-ins are interesting because as we move towards a delivery type economy, and some of the Farmington study also suggests that there's a growing demand for delivery. How will that impact walk-in? We're not sure yet. The bottom line is we're focusing our attention on the digital channels, and at the end of the day, helping our customers, distributors, and dealers to stay connected with customers and employees while they're moving around. In addition to that, we believe mobile plays a key role in assisting contractors when it comes to the things that are most important to them when making decisions. So if you look at the top 8 purchasing decision criteria produced by the Farmington Consulting Group, we can tell you, as we go through the mobile channels here in a moment, we can impact these in some way, shape, or form. So mobile has a role to play in helping connect, again, at the right moment in time, those contractors and the sources from which they purchase. An additional element that we learned from the Farmington Group is the influence of counter inside sales teams when it comes to parts and supply purchases, and it's quite substantial. So again, as we look at the channels here in a moment, keep this in back of your mind. If you do have dealership type businesses or counter-based businesses, the folks that are inside at that counter play a huge part in again, decision-making process and parts supply. And again, our role is to help facilitate the dialogue and the relationships between the counter inside sales team as well as the contractors, regardless of where they are, right? And that's one of the beauties of the mobile technology. So what are we talking about, right? What is mobile engagement? So on one hand, it's instant communication, right? No more waiting for emails or playing phone tag. Mobile, instant communication gives you real-time chat, text, mobile app, and even WhatsApp in some countries. That's quite vital to connect customers and your team instantly. It also gives you an opportunity to do orders right. Forget about those manual order, timely and sometimes mistakes are made through manual order entry. With these mobile engagement tools, you can automate the process, making it faster and more accurate. It's really about also delivering satisfaction to customers, right? Reach your customers where they are with, again, text, chat, and mobile apps. Keep them updated on their order status, inventory, instant notifications, and also just in general, keep them in the loop. And we'll talk about in detail some of these things in a moment. The power of data, no more scattered information. By using a platform for mobile engagement, you can bring all your customer data in one place. So you can then leverage that information to deliver personalized offers and better understand their individual needs. It's also an effort in lowering costs, right? By eliminating manual processes, you can, through automation, you can drive savings, cost efficiencies and savings in your company. And then last but not least, all this data that you're going to collect, enabling mobile engagement in your business, will give you valuable insights into your customers' behavior, and as a result, be able to adapt and grow your business more efficiently. So, what are the three pillars of mobile and what we're going to focus on today? Number one, unified messaging. Unified messaging, in essence, is two-way communication that is done through digital form, text, mobile apps, chat, web, etc., all in one, in email, all in one system. Secondly, branded mobile app. And if you think of how you use your phones today, generally speaking, you're either trying to communicate with someone in real time, or you're trying to access information, on your own terms, on your own time. And in a lot of ways, the branded app gives your employees and your customers the ability to do exactly that in a faster, more efficient way. And then last but not least, once you have these channels in place, you also have an opportunity to leverage the data, the customer information, and then re-engage, right? Your contacts through a variety of different tools. We're going to look at all this today, and we're going to start with unified messaging first. Before we do, one thing I want to kind of emphasize is that regardless of the channels that you deploy, the customer database, the information that you can collect about the end users, the people who are actually walking in and out of your locations and are placing these orders, what we know is a lot of our customers will tell us that their ERP system, for example, may not have that level of detail, right? They'll know who the procurement officers are, they might know who the CEOs are, the owners of the companies, but they don't necessarily have a true database of all the individual people that are interacting with their business and their team on a day-to-day basis. So regardless of what you do, in my mind's eye, this is one of the first benefits of implementing a mobile engagement strategy, is the ability to identify these individuals and also collect the data of how they engage with your company, the activity, where they are, how they transact with your business. And last but not least, capture and manage the opt-in consent, which is key if you want to re-engage them over a period of time. So this is sort of an overarching benefit, I think, that will apply across the board as we look at these different channels. So let's dive into unified messaging. So those of you who are familiar with this side of the business, I guess, is if you look at where you've been and where you are, right? In general, the level of activity that you're seeing amongst your customers, your employees that are messaging through digital channels is still, in relative terms, as we saw before, a smaller piece of the business. What I think is important, and why now, right, is that we have a new generation entering the workforce, and as you know, from just a population point of view, it's also a much larger population than, say, the Generation X were. But in addition to that, their demand, their usage of these digital channels is through the roof. So if you're not, if you don't currently have some of these tools in place for your business, then now's a good time to do it, because in the matter of a few years or less, you want to have learned and perfected how you use these tools so that you're prepared to receive and support this new generation that's entering the workforce. In addition to that, talking to our customers, we know that some of your employees want these tools, right? We often hear about employees who receive text messages from customers all day, any time of day, at night, when they're out with their family, when they're out at dinner, maybe they're on vacation. All that customer interaction is locked up on that phone. Therefore, you as a business, without the right tools, have no ability to have any oversight or controls over that communication, that content. So that's why using a platform is a better alternative. And one could say it'd be the equivalent of you telling your employees to use their personal emails at work. No, you give them a business address for a host of reasons. So we see the same thing in terms of these digital channels. It's best for you to have the tools in place. So the first solution within the unified messaging realm is, again, to implement a platform that helps you connect with your customers anytime, anywhere. By default, if you have a location-based or branch-based business, what we'll typically do is activate, uh, take the landlines of your business and activate those for messaging. Okay, that'd be step number one. Step number two, we'll put on your website a variety of tools to help collect information on those customers that are visiting your website, so they can opt in and participate in future communications. We also can implement a chat feature on your website that gives, again, your customers the ability to communicate digitally. However, and we do the same from the mobile app side. But for your team, what's really nice is that they get all these communications in one place. There's a centralized team inbox. And what you see on the far right is a representation of that particular tool, where, again, your team can not only unify all the communications that are taking place, but can also collaborate with those communications as a team. So you can have assignments, you can have escalations, after hours support. There's a variety of different features that can help you be much more productive with these communications than you would be otherwise doing it phone to phone. So here's Peter, a short video from Peter with some of his thoughts on how messaging is helping his customers.
The biggest benefit we saw was being able to talk to a customer in real time, allowing them to have conversations about the situation they were in, and us being able to provide a solution to them very quickly and easily through the interaction, through the text messaging, being able to send a photo, being able to text a SKU number, and then us being able to feedback whether it's in stock, where they can get it. All that kind of information can be done very quickly through the system.
So what kind of use cases are we talking about, right? Sales orders. People are placing orders through these digital channels, particularly text messages. Order status, right? Where is my order? Or proactively send to customers notifications to let them know their order is shipped, is ready for pickup, that sort of thing. Maybe request quotes, right? Do you have this in stock? How much does it cost? Troubleshooting is a big one, right? And a lot of that is done through visual communication as well, where pictures can be taken and sent into the branch to visually assist, if you will, the conversation. Dispatching, again, letting people know of status, and also managing some of the drivers. Support in general, manufacturing types issues, things of the like. Announcements. Hey, we're going to close early today. We have weather. Any of you in more northern climates, for example, this is the time of year where things happen, and having these tools to instantly communicate is huge. And again, after hours, right? So how do we go from a voice message to a system that can actually dynamically support customers' needs with with team members that might be assigned to that role, and be more efficient in that process than you currently are. So again, here's Peter on how messaging solutions are helping with his customer satisfaction.
Specifically, I think as we started to use it and as branches started to incorporate it more and more into their daily tasks, we found that we were able to manage more customers on an ongoing basis faster and easier. And as more and more customers started to use the system, they in turn felt satisfaction from us being able to answer their questions very quickly and easily.
So, what are some of these images that customers might send in, right? They're taking pictures of product, they're taking pictures of specs, they're taking pictures of handwritten notes. A lot of folks are handwriting their orders, taking a picture and then sending it in as a message. Much more convenient for the customer. It does create challenges internally, though. Is how do you extract that information and present it in such a way that it can be easily ingested into an ERP system? There are solutions for that, and really streamline that process and avoid errors. But this gives you an idea of the types of images. Of course, there are so many more, but it gives you a sense of what kind of communication. And again, if you're dealing with parts, auto parts, truck parts, things like that, again, you're on the road, you run into some issues. and you might want to use the visual communication aspect to solve problems. So here's John Zimmerman over at MHC.
Customers even on the road, they might be pulled over on the side of the road, broke down, and said, this thing is broken. I don't know what it is. Well, for them to be able to take a picture of it, send it to us easily, look at that, and for us to be able to identify it and get them the part that they need has been a big win for us.
In addition to that, guys, these platforms enable solutions that pertain to some of the challenges associated with language. Those folks who are either in Canada, there's certain markets in the U.S., particularly southern markets where you have a large contingency of Spanish-speaking contractors, for example. But we also find, by the way, that there are pockets of markets or within markets or cities where there are some linguistic challenges. So number one, these platforms can be localized, right? French, English, and Spanish, for example. We know up in Canada how in Quebec it's not an option, right? It has to be done and done right. So these platforms allow to be used in the preferred language of the administrator or your internal team. But in addition to that, platform like ours allow for real-time conversation translation. What that means is that your entire team is basically made multilingual at this point. Over 100 languages supported. So customers can message in their preferred language, and whoever is responding will receive the message in their preferred language. They can reply in the language they know, say in English, and if the person on the other end is French speaking, that message will literally be converted to French on the way out the door. So it's an instant translation service, which is, again, things you cannot do if you're messaging phone to phone without a platform.
Mobico has helped us out quite a bit just with the ability for one person to text in and then give the ability for our internal staff, if it's 5, 6, 10, 20 people, to be able to get to that a lot faster and respond back. And it'll really cut our response times down and get people back on the road as quickly as possible.
So it's really about productivity as well, right? So it's obviously communications, but good communications make for increased productivity. So as John just described, they can respond to customers quicker. As we said at the outset, the data that is derived from these conversations that are now in a system allow you, with the right tools, can be leveraged to really create what we call segments, which are basically rules-based. It's a simple form of AI, by the way, rules-based system where you can create a variety of different scenarios that can then trigger things to happen automatically. So the platforms will allow for that type of capability. In addition to that order processing mentioned earlier, but the ability to, again, take unstructured type ordering information and process it in such a way that it can be easily matched to product and SKUs and then entered into your ERP system is another key factor how you can use these platforms for increased productivity. And last but not least, notifications that can be automated from ERP, CRM, e-commerce systems as well. And again, delivered, a lot of these systems will do email notifications, but there's something about messaging as a channel. It's much more responsive, it's quicker, and the reaction time to those communications is far, far quicker than you would get through email. We'll talk about that in our broadcast section, but notification is a key element of how you can use these platforms to increase productivity and automation. For example, we worked with a partner, Apex Lockers. Incidentally, Farmington, in their study released just a week ago, told us that 7 out of 10 contractors say they would use lockers if they were offered. So here's a quick video they produced for us.
Are long lines during peak hours a problem? How about handling will call orders multiple times before they reach the right hands? Or have you ever hidden an order behind a bush for after hours pickup? We can help eliminate this and more. That's why Moblico and Apex have integrated our technologies to offer an easy-to-implement solution designed to boost your omni-channel strategy, increase revenue, and streamline your will call process. It's what your customers are asking for and what your competitors are adopting. Here's how it works. Apex merges with your systems to enable easy loading of orders into our smart lockers and cages to automate the pickup. And then with our integration to Moblico's communications technology, a text is sent that order is ready for pickup, complete with a custom message and QR code for fast, hassle-free pickup at the contractor's convenience. Your associates continue to use your platforms with ease, while we are integrated behind the scenes into your existing workflow. B2B companies are always searching for solutions to boost productivity and revenue, and ways to leverage technology to stay ahead. A Moblico Apex partnership delivers exactly that. Value for your customers, your business, and your bottom line.
Okay, so that concludes sort of our section on unified messaging for the moment. We'll table any questions for our Q&A at the end. Let's dive into the branded mobile app, again, as part of your mobile strategy and why it matters. So number one, a mobile app allows you the opportunity to unify your systems in one place so that there's a single user interface that can also be tailored based on who's using the application. So as a result, you can pretty much put in your applications, any systems, any resources that are, mission critical, particularly while people are in motion, in one place. And you can also serve multiple user types, if you will. Simple example would be employees versus customers. Yet that can be done all from one application, which really makes the messaging and the marketing and the support infinitely easier. We had one customer, for example, came to us one time with 3 apps already in the App Store, and we were able to work with them to consolidate that into one single application. So we're going to hear here from a few customers and kind of how the mobile app is playing a role in their business.
Well, I got to go back quite a few years. I think it's been over 10 years since we started speaking internally about getting an app. What was happening was our Coburns.com website was actively growing and our contractors were using it on a regular basis. However, they were using it mainly in their office, and we were finding that a lot of our contractors were like out on the fields, doing jobs, and they'd have to wait until they got back to the office to actually go on our website, look at pricing, products, accounting information. So that was sort of the challenge we were having, is how can we get our website into the palm of our customers' hands, because we were starting to notice they were talking about apps. They were all having, cell phones where they were downloading these apps. So that's where it got started, where we met with Moblico to try to figure out if you guys were a good solution for us to get our website as an app.
And just to add to Jessica's comments, Coburn Supply really started working on their application almost 10 years ago to this day. They did a phenomenal job over time in really building a culture around their application where both their customers and their employees know that if they need something from the company, that is their destination and where they need to go. They also use their application during events throughout the year, and that has turned out to be a fantastic forum from which to drive distribution and adoption of the application. They, in essence, put event-based content during the events, tell their employees and customers to download the application at the event, and then they encourage them to keep the application on their phones throughout the year. So it's not surprising with the tactics that they've deployed and the timeline that Coburn Supply penetration of essentially contractors to apps is extremely high. So what are some of the, again, applications, things you would do with your mobile app beyond things like specifications and product data and maybe OEM part information, which could be, ingested in the application from multiple sources, of course. But shopping is an obvious one, right? So, hey, let's put e-commerce in the mobile app. But we don't want to limit our app to just e-commerce, because as a business, we have other functions, other needs. And our customers and the end users have different needs as well. Maybe we want to put locations, make it easy to find our locations and access information to get in contact with those locations instantly in a press of a button. Maybe we want to enable scanning barcodes to put in an e-commerce shopping cart. There's a variety of different scanning-based functions that can be put in a mobile app for both internal and external use. Perhaps you're using the application to at least enlist folks to participate in training. You could also obviously provide access to training content in the application as well. We mentioned before events. The application is a great tool as opposed to getting an event app. Use your company app and the content and put the content in it, because it becomes a marketing effort that lasts throughout the year, not just a one shot. Maybe videos, again, related to training and product information. Internally, right? Get the HR teams involved. Let's use these tools to communicate, not just with customers, but let's use it with employees as well. The notion of in-app push notifications is a big part of how an app can be of benefit. You guys have all gotten notifications before from sports teams and things like that. So you can add that to your app. And then last but not least, get some feedback, right? Provide forms and notify or send messages to customers and employees and try to get them to react to it. So here's a quick example of how careful scanning is helping Coburn Flannery in the Granite Group.
Specifically with the mobile app, I would think, I think to the capabilities that a mobile app has over the desktop version, right? So you have access to the camera on your phone. And one instance was a customer who had a stock room and kind of struggled keeping up with the stock room and keeping quantities in the bins. They didn't really want to manage inventory. Their guys would come in the morning, just grab stuff as they needed it. And that was fine with them because it was quick and easy to get the guys in and out. But at the end, somebody had to go through the stock room, look in the bins, figure out what they needed to reorder, and then had to have some product knowledge so when they looked in the bin, they knew what it was. And so that was time consuming for them, as well as sometimes not as accurate as they would like. So because we had the mobile app and with the scanning capability in the mobile app, we were able to barcode their stock room, and now their techs come in, they pilfer the stock room, and the stockroom manager can now just go through, scan the labels that we printed barcode labels with description on. They just look in the bin. If they feel like they need some, they scan the label in the app, enter the quantity, and create a cart and order it. And it's made them much more efficient and much more accurate. And it's also allowed us to increase our order value from them because we labeled everything. So we now it's so much easier for them to order from us with that method. We're now getting orders for stuff that we didn't typically get because they'll hit a bin that they would order from a competitor, and they're like, well, I'm already here in the app and this is so easy. They now order from us. So that's been great for both us and the customer.
So speed and convenience, kind of an overarching theme throughout these mobile channels. As I said before, you can use your application with employees, right? Use it as a gateway to employee resources and communication, build quotes, perform crib crawls, sales presentation, product sheets, interactive forms, product videos, training, team events, social media, company news, a lot of things you can do with your application targeted to employees of the company, including obviously company announcements. Once these mobile channels, again, are in place, there's a variety of tools built into these platforms that allow you to monetize the channels. And that's the exciting part. It's kind of cherry on top, right? You implement these solutions because you want to provide better communication and more enhanced productivity, but there's a fringe benefit, and that's to monetize the channels. Your suppliers will love the opportunity to communicate through your channels to the target audience, right? So whether it's in-app push notifications, using presence and location type information, as we said before, sponsoring events. There's also built-in tools to do promotions and advertising within the channels. And then, of course, even loyalty, right? Using these interfaces to drive loyalty through rewards programs and things of the like. Now, in addition to that, your application being an open environment, because you could bring in multiple systems, you can bring in partnerships as well. So external systems can be a part of your app experience. Here's an example of a partnership we formed with Continuum. And first, let's watch a quick video they prepared for us at the sort of outset of our partnership.
Are you a distributor looking for a distinct competitive advantage? You should be. That's why I'm thrilled to share some exciting news with you today. Moblico and Continuum have formed a strategic partnership that's set to revolutionize mobile returns and warranty management for wholesale distributors. One of the most significant benefits of our integration is job site accessibility. With our combined solution, returns can be initiated directly from job sites through distributor apps and text messages. This means quick and efficient handling of returns without disrupting project timelines, a game changer for distributors and contractors alike. With the Moblico and Continuum integration, you can expect a streamlined, efficient, and customer-friendly returns and warranty process inside of your custom-branded mobile app. Let's make B2B warranties and returns easy for everyone.
So it's been a while since this video got produced. Since then, we've sort of rolled out the partnership and we've been working jointly. And I've invited Alex, the co-founder of Continuum, to join us. Alex, are you there?
I'm here. I'm
Awesome.
here.
So just in a few words, tell us a little bit about your journey so far and how our working together has been a benefit to you and our mutual customers.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, thanks for having me, Pierre. Super excited to be here. For everyone on the call, the relationship with Moblico is really a game changer because we view this as Moblico provides the platform to the entire customer experience in a mobile first environment. And as you know, the key to doing business with your customers is about meeting them where they're at. And I can guarantee you, your customers are always on this thing, especially in the contractor community. And so we're excited to be just a piece of that inside of Moblico so that your customers can gain complete visibility to the life cycle and status of returns and also, very importantly, warranties. So depending on the different industry and vertical, returns may be, if you think about the electrical or plumbing market, you get big job-based returns. So you think about a plumbing job or electrical job, these contractors are like, get this off of my job site. I need it off. How can they initiate that return and dispatch drivers through the Continuum platform so that we can make sure that we get these products off the job site, get them back into your warehouse and received? When you think about the HVAC market, we lean a little bit more towards the warranty automation side of things. And so right inside of Moblico, your customers will be able to initiate warranty claims, identify available inventory, and literally have these products delivered to them on the job site. I unfortunately or fortunately enough got to experience a poor warranties process with a contractor. My furnace went out on Friday evening, had to make an after hours call. My furnace was under warranty. They said, we can't file a claim and we can't work with our distributor right now because they're closed. Had they had Moblico and Continuum, that contractor would have been able to file the claim right on the phone. He had the part in his truck, so he would have been able to pick up or be able to have a replacement part delivered to him, all the while automating the warranty claim up the supply chain through the distributor to the manufacturer. And so ultimately at Continuum, what we provide is a seamless ability to create these returns, these warranty claims, and give visibility to where we're at in the process. Distributors on this call, you're probably so familiar with the scenario of needing to engage a vendor and maybe waiting to give your customer credit until you get credit from your vendor. And we are going to provide complete visibility, eliminating customer AR invoice disputes and eliminating missed vendor credits. And the great thing is your customers are always in the know through Moblico, through Continuum, knowing exactly where we're at in this process. Have you received it in the warehouse? Are you crediting me? And getting complete visibility to the history of all of the returns and warranty claims through the Moblico app. When I think about Moblico, I think about it almost as like a headless application. Anything that's client facing, anything that you have your clients, your customers, contractors interacting with can live right inside of the Moblico application. So now anything that they need, any information, spec sheets, returns, orders, all happens inside of Moblico. I think that's ultimately the reason that our partnership has been so fruitful is because we know we need to meet the customer where they are, and now we just need to provide all of the information in applications in a single view, happens to be Moblico. So I'm super excited that Pierre had invited us to be a part of this today, and happy to go deeper on the returns and warranties process. But Moblico has been a game changer for our customers and is a partnership for us as well.
Well, Alex, I thank you so much for your comments, and we feel the same. Love working with you and your team. And I should have mentioned from the outset, Continuum is an NSA partner as we. So absolutely, if there's interest in what you guys do, please reach out to you directly or the NSA team. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
We have other partners, guys, on our website. If you go to moblico.solutions.com/partners, you can see a list there of our current partners, and we're always adding new relationships as well. So I encourage you to visit the website. Okay, last piece of the puzzle, right? The targeted broadcast. Now we have two-way communications in place. We've got our mobile app in place. We're building a contact database. What can we do with this information, and why would we care to re-engage and use broadcast? So essentially at this point, the story is simply this, guys. Instant messaging has a role to play. It doesn't replace email, but for certain applications, it's far better, right? So if you're looking to deliver a message that requires quick response, a short timeline, high open rate, text-based, messaging-based communications will far outperform email. And we have a lot of customers who can back this up, obviously, based on their experiences. And you'll hear from a couple here in just a moment. But we can tell you that it is a far more viable channel for, again, certain types of communications that need instant delivery and need to be read and very quickly. So what are the kinds of things you would do in your broadcast type campaigns, right? Announcements. We're closing early would be an example of that. And perhaps we have product we're trying to move. We're trying to promote specials, right? Hey, if you order this by this date or this time, it could be a same day promotion for all you know. Incentives, give customers more reasons to engage with you guys through incentives and rewards. Feedback. How did we do today, right? You can automate that kind of stuff, right? After a purchase, after a visit, maybe trigger a communication to go to customers and get their feedback on their experience. Obviously, retention is a huge part of how you can leverage your mobile communication channels. And then win back, right? Hey, we haven't seen these guys in a while, but the systems can actually track that for you. What do we want to do when that happens, right? And then program the systems to do it automatically. Two more folks here. You're going to hear from Teddy and Zach. Teddy's with Cedar Valley, and Zach is with Charleston Inc. Specifically, some of the things they're doing with broadcast.
Typically, we can do our own marketing better. So I market everything for ourselves. If we have a customer appreciation day, or we're having early closure, or we're closed for the holidays, like it helps so much that I can send that text message and schedule it. Put whatever media I want in, and I can do it myself. I can do it from the app. I can do it from a computer. It's just super easy to communicate to all the customers and text blast them. So when I have that thought, I can schedule it, get it done, move forward, and I don't have to worry about it.
We have utilized the mass texting advertising of our company events, such as tailgates, counter days, etc. And we can text a large number of people at the same time the morning of the event to remind them, hey, this is what we're doing, and this is what we're offering, and any kind of sales that go along with that during that time.
So Lauren Roberts, who is CEO now, CEO at CFM Distributors in Kansas City, was our very first distributor client. And at the time, she was in marketing department, and she started doing a weekly text program. The year was 2011. And still her company religiously every week send out a message. They call it Tech Tuesday now. And basically they're sending out a variety of type messages. Some are seasonal, some are new promotions, and some are just news, event related, etc. But the notion of a club, right, where you're asking customers to sign up, hey, sign up for these types of communications, and we will be communicating with you on a regular basis. You guys do that with emails, newsletters, that sort of thing today. They've implemented this, and Lauren has told us many times that she can drive significant increases in product sales doing this program to the tune of some cases up to 800% when she promotes these things through text. Another example would be from Tyler at RMed, and here's his story recently, a recent experience he had with a promotion.
But I do have a pretty big win that I could share at one of the promos that we ran recently. So it was a 4-day promo that we were running, and we previously had not sent out any sort of communication through any mobile channel. So no, push notifications through the app, no broadcast messaging via text. And so the first 2 days of the promo were pretty slow. And we were trying to scramble and find a way to kind of pull this promo together for the second half and actually make it a success. And that's when we linked up with Moblico, got together a broadcast message and sent that out to all of our customers or all of our contacts. And we actually saw I was looking at the numbers earlier, we saw a 372% increase in the promo units sold in the second half, the last 2 days of that promotion. So, I think that's a pretty big testament to, having a mobile engagement strategy, like I said, meeting the customer where they are.
So additional results, things we hear from our customers when we ask them how these mobile channels are benefiting them, 20% faster response times at the branch level. We have one customer tell us that 25% of their e-commerce orders are coming from their mobile app today. They think that number will increase in 2025. Customer orders through messaging. We have a customer, this is a bit of an outlier, I'll be honest, but it is true. They are getting 60% of their company orders are coming through messaging channels today, which is phenomenal. So, it is possible, and I would call that sort of a bar to reach for at some point in the future. And then, of course, as we just said, email versus messaging can really drive higher engagement rates. So we've had customers who do email and text-based campaigns at the same time, and by far the text-based campaigns outperform the email communications, as Tyler just said, but there are other case studies just like it. So to close out, a couple of thoughts, checklist to get your mobile journey started. Number one, get with your team. Sit down with different constituents within your company. You'll be surprised how, if you were to approach HR, sales, marketing, IT, others, and tell them, hey, I'm thinking of bringing in this mobile engagement platform. How would you use it, right? How could it benefit you? You'll be surprised how engaged they'll get with you regarding that. It seems everyone has a use case in mind or two. And from our experiences, incidentally, once you bring in this platform in your business, what you're going to find is that whatever was the main motive or reason that you did to start with, you'll discover quickly that there are so many more use cases that will open up once you have the platform in place. Schedule a demo, right? Get with Moblico and see how others have deployed solutions like this. We can also introduce you to other distributors and dealers who are using this type of technology. Define a plan, right? So, who's going to use this technology, and again, and then how, right? And get your team feedback incorporated in that plan. We also offer free trials, right? So you can try some of this technology before you would commit to it at any point in time. And then last but not least, while you do your brainstorming, don't let that overwhelm you, right? Break it down, right? They call it crawl, walk, run strategy. Don't build a whole whiteboard. We literally had a customer tell us that, and roadmap that stuff and say, okay, you know what? This year we're going to launch with this, these simple steps. And then, over the next 2-3 years, we anticipate doing this, and that. And that's a really good way to approach and engage. The folks at NSA asked me to share with you all a little bit how the business model works. So number one, all these services we're talking about here are subscription based. They're offered on a month-to-month or annual basis. The services can be essentially acquired a la carte, right? So you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do. You don't have to do everything out of the gate, and you can just pick one service or another. We do offer bundles, so the benefit there is that even if you start with one thing and you add on others in the future, there will be some cost savings. There's going to be a lot of not only some technology efficiency and benefits from using a single platform, but you'll also save money at the end of the day, and it's quite significant as you grow into other services. The deployment itself is, depending on what you're doing, it can be a 10-day to a 90-day cycle. So we're not talking months and years here, right? And this can have high impact on your business very, very quickly, and that's why we're so excited about it. There may be some folks on our call that are from Canada. If you are, we do have Canadian discounts. We understand the realities of the exchange rate, and we try to work with you there as well. Brian, that concludes my presentation for today. I do have some time for Q&A if we have any.
Now, Pierre, listen, this was a tremendous presentation. Thank you so much for it. I would invite people to enter any questions into the chat, and I'll make a couple of comments in the meantime here. So as Pierre has indicated, this is a powerful full mobility platform, right? And I know distributors are always looking for an edge. They're looking for a way to differentiate and so forth. And you can see from so many of these videos how it's impacted companies, 300% increase in sales. I love the Granite Group comment about how it's expanded the order sizes they're getting because the convenience factor is there as customers are just scanning the barcode and taking the products that they're looking for, et cetera. And then Alex, thank you for your participation as well. Another great solution that NSA offers for automated returns and warranties. And you can see how that becomes even that much more powerful and convenient with the mobility element that Continuum is integrated into their solution. So I'll start out with some questions we've got here. And again, I'm inviting others to please enter them into the chat. We got about 6 minutes left, so we have time for it. So Pierre, one question is, what are the best practices around gaining customer opt-in for text messaging?
Yeah, that's that's always an area of interest, right? Particularly for companies who have not engaged in that realm before. So, Moblico itself, for 14 years now, we've had in place all the nuances, the tools, basically, to ensure that our customers are able to collect the customer information and the opt-in information and record it in such a way that it's done, appropriately within the guidelines of, different states, different countries have different rules, right? But the general sort of arching rule is simply this: you need permission, right? You can't just load up a list and start firing it off. So we have tools for that. We also have built into our system variety of mechanisms to not only collect information, but also allow customers to opt out at their leisure. And we do it in such a way that customers can opt out of broadcast, for example, but it does not necessarily affect their ability to communicate to the branch, right? So all these little nuances we've accounted for, and are built into to our platform. But again, there are tools available within a system like ours to not only collect the information required, but also do it in such a way that it's according to the guidelines and rules. Ironically, one of our co-founders, since deceased, but was one of the co-founders of the Mobile Marketing Association in the U.S. This is like back in the 90s, and so they essentially set the original guidelines, right, for how how you can collect and manage mobile opt-ins and so forth.
Okay, great. I have a few more questions as well, but could we also just advance to the promo so that folks can see that on the screen? That'd be awesome. So, guys, we have we graciously have Moblico offering up 10% off of any custom mobile app development that you might require, and plus you had the free trial unified messaging that Pierre had mentioned earlier. So I would invite folks to make sure you engage with us and take advantage of this offer. We'll leave this up as we continue on with a couple more questions. I love this next one. What are the biggest challenges distributors face when adopting mobile engagement strategies, and how can they overcome them?
Yeah, we only have 3 minutes, so let me answer this way. Implementing new technology, regardless of what it is, has a sort of change management component to it, right? So making sure you have buy-in from sort of top to bottom is key for a program to be successful. We've had customers, Lone Ranger, I'm going to get this going here and not really get anybody behind it. You're only going to get so far. You're only going to get a certain level of result. If you have top to bottom engagement and support, and I would extend that beyond your company and do the same exercise with customers, right? And really get them on board in terms of what you're doing, get their input and so forth. You can make it in a roundabout way, make it their idea, right? You're going to have much more success in your rollout and the longevity and the use of your program if you kind of do it right out of the gate. So again, it's a change management problem, if you will. I would say that's probably the biggest one. There's other there's other examples of that. And if that's something of interest to anyone on the call, do reach out, because I do have some actual feedback from other customers in terms of things they went through. Be glad to share that with you as well.
Terrific. I got just 2 more. One of them would be a quick answer. This next one here. Do you offer APIs to connect our system to your platform?
Yes.
There we go. And then the last one I have is, how do you see mobile engagement evolving for distributors over the next few years?
Yeah, so a couple of things. As I said from the outset, I think it's going to grow. I think the demand is going to grow, and again, because the end user behavior is coming forward. We don't have to generate the demand. It's the end user is they're the ones wanting it and doing it already, but as they enter the workforce. So, and some have already, by the way. So I think that's one key aspect. The other one is the productivity side, right? The introduction of AI. We've implemented a number of different AI initiatives in our platform already. And at the end of the day, what we're trying to do with AI is assist the team, right? And help them be more productive at the end of the day. So we realize that, particularly independent distributors, the relationships that they all have with, again, the counter team, the outside sales team is key. And we want to enhance that relationship, not get in the middle of it. So that's essentially where we're taking this technology. And I think that's where things are going.
Terrific. Well, that's a wrap for today, folks. I'd love to thank you again, Pierre, for your presentation, along with your very generous offer here for the webinar today. and Alex as well for your participation. It's always great to have another NSA vendor on and see what that this solution means even for our vendors as well. So again, please make sure you engage with us, take advantage of these offers. And again, this is a great way to differentiate your company and really line yourself up for the future. Thank you all for participating as well. We appreciate your time, and that's a wrap. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.